How's it going, everyone? My name is True UnderDawgz, and I'm here today with a guide for Videl. This character is very fascinating. She has a unique dodge, tons of mix-ups, and a lot of corner carry. She's honestly one of the more technical characters on the roster, but that just means more experimentation and more possibilities. So to start things off, let's talk about her unique attacks. So first up, we have back medium. So back medium can be stringed after a standard medium attack, and it acts pretty much the same, almost like a target combo. So if you land those first two attacks for a hit confirm, you can use back medium to tack on a little extra damage in your combo. And that's mainly what you're going to be using it for, a little bit of extra combo damage, though it can also be good to extend block strings as well. And next, let's talk about her forward heavy. This attack does a pretty good amount of damage and has a ton of corner carry. So it's a great way to extend combos if you do manage to land those first few hits as a hit confirm, carries the opponent all the way across the screen, and it's great for canceling into her special move follow-ups. And that's the main reason you do want to use forward heavy, is to extend combos and get further corner carry. Although I do want to mention that a lot of the time you probably won't get the chance to hit confirm this because you're going to do your standard light, crouching medium, and then launch the opponent, and that can be just fine because Videl has a very standard combo string for that situation. However, if you do manage to hit confirm the opponent a bit earlier and keep them on the ground, forward heavy is one of the best ways to extend your combo for both damage and corner carry. And next up, I wanted to talk about Videl's dodge, because it's very different than your standard reflect. Instead of knocking the opponent back for some breathing room, she keeps the opponent close, which makes it a lot easier for her to punish them if they make a big mistake. The only downside is Videl can't recover any faster. It's a very set period of time, so she can't punish attacks that recover very quickly, only attacks that would leave the opponent a bit more open. But even so, it's really awesome that she has a tool like this to open up the opponent if they're a bit too aggressive. Now, she does stay out of the way for a set period of time, but you can do it back to back. If the opponent does something that lasts a bit longer, like say Gohan's lightning legs, or even a level 3, she can keep dodging to stay out of the way. And of course, we can't talk about Videl's normals without mentioning her key attack, which is the Great Saiyaman. So simply press the key attack button and he flies out similar to a projectile and hits the opponent. So he's pretty good for block strings or just checking the opponent from a distance. He's fairly fast and definitely serves that purpose. However, if you press down in the key attack, he throws a pretty slow projectile with a bit of startup, which is actually great because you can run in behind it, or even super dash after it in some situations, and it keeps you fairly safe. You might want to delay that super dash just a little bit to make sure they can't down heavy you. You don't want to get there before the projectile, but it's still honestly a pretty good way of getting in from a distance. But that's not all. Great Saiyaman also has two different functions in the air. So if you jump and press the key attack, he slides down at a pretty good angle, so it's pretty good for checking the opponent. And as you saw earlier, it's also great for ending corner combos, since it gives enough hit stun to do her light command grab in the air and guarantee that slide knockdown, whereas you otherwise wouldn't get it. So it's very good for corner combos and also good for checking the opponent after jumping over a key attack or even a Kamehameha. You can fly in with this and punish them in certain situations. So it's pretty darn good. And of course you can vanish cancel after it. I didn't mention that, but both the standard version and air version are great for vanish canceling on hit confirm. You have all day to see if it hits, and then you can vanish for a full combo. And then if you press down and key attack in the air, Gohan slides in from above. This can be a great way to check the opponent if they're trying to zone you, or just trying really hard to keep you away. This can keep them a little bit more honest. And then in certain rare situations, it can actually be used to extend corner combos, though those situations are very, very rare, but even so, it's important to learn when best to use that. And that about does it for Videl's normal attacks, so next let's move on to her special moves. So first up, let's talk about this command grab, quarter circle back and attack. Now this command grab is honestly quite fascinating because it doesn't hit opponents who are crouching. So if I have Gohan crouch here real quick, then you'll notice it doesn't actually hit him, which means you have to actually train the opponent to stand up by jumping in on them with instant overheads, and once they get used to blocking that, you can start throwing in this command grab as a mix-up. So next let's talk about the three different versions. So the light version has a shallower angle, and you don't really get too much off of it. You could go straight into super if you want to, but you don't really get much after it. You can't super dash to extend the combo. I don't think Great Saiyaman can even come in time to follow up here either. Nah, he's not quite fast enough. That's okay for a setup, but you're not really going to get any extra damage there, so the super isn't really worth it. It's mainly just good for that slide knockdown, especially if the opponent's near the corner. You can start pressuring them with the instant air dash, so it's really good for getting that slide knockdown. However, if the opponent is cornered, you can actually do even more than that. So if you have the opponent near the corner and you're in the air, this is a very good way to get that slide knockdown. Just use air ki blast to summon Saiyaman and then do quarter circle back light and you get that slide knockdown, which is great for comboing into super and it even works in certain situations where Videl normally wouldn't get the slide knockdown with other special moves. That command grab will always get it in the air. Now the medium version has a slightly better angle and does a bit more damage as well, and if you want to spin the meter, you can actually vanish cancel for a full combo. Just make sure to wait for Saiyaman to kick the opponent if you want the maximum damage, since it is possible to vanish a bit earlier and you miss out on a bit of damage that way. And last but not least, we have the heavy version. It has the speed of the light version and the angle of the medium version, not to mention you can actually super dash after it to extend the combo. So you no longer need your vanish to extend the combo, but you still do switch sides, so just keep that in mind. And that's about it for the command grab. So next up, let's talk about her Rekka attack. So quarter circle forward and attack. This is her main mix-up tool, leads into a little slight chain here if you keep pressing light attack, but there's also a medium option as well. Now for the first part of the attack, the light version and medium version are basically the same. The medium version's a bit slower and does a bit more damage as a result, so if you do manage to land that hit confirm, you do want to do the medium version, but for block strings, the light version can be just fine since it comes out a bit faster. However, the follow-ups are where things get really interesting for this attack. So if you press light attack, she comes down with a quick overhead. Press light again, she punches the opponent a bit for a machine gun hit, and then if you press light a third time, boom, get that little rising knee right there. Now in the corner, that actually causes the wall bounce, so it can be slightly good for combo extension, especially with an assist, or if you prefer, you can summon Great Saiyaman for a little bit of extra damage. However, most of the time you don't want to do the final hit of her Rekka string, instead you want to end with the machine gun punches, because that combos very well into her level 1 super, and you can super dash afterwards for a full combo. And that's what you want to do as long as this attack lands. However, let's talk about all the mix-ups this move has if it's blocked. So I'm going to go ahead and tell Gohan to guard all here. And since this follow-up right here is an overhead, you can actually assist and then go for empty jump lows. I've seen people do this especially in the corner. They'll just hit low and it's very, very sneaky because this is an overhead. So now instead, call on the assist, go for empty jump low. It's so dirty. You have the instant overhead or you have the low immediately after. It's very, very sneaky, and this setup can work from mid-screen as well. Just make sure to do the light version and not the medium version since it pushes them a bit too far back, but the light version leaves them nice and close for that good low mix-up. So that's about it for the light follow-up, but what about the medium follow-up? Well, the medium follow-up is a very sneaky cross-up. Now the opponent could down heavy this, so just keep that in mind. You want to actually condition them to not expect this, because if you do it too much, they will down heavy you every single time. But it's still a fantastic mix-up. You can vanish cancel afterwards to get a full combo. It's still a very solid mix-up, and to make it even dirtier, it crosses up in the corner. Very few characters can actually cross up the opponent when their back's against the wall like that, so that just makes Videl that much more sneaky. She can get a cross up even if the opponent's against the wall. Very dirty stuff. And then finally we have the heavy follow-up. The heavy follow-up is the command grab that you saw from before. And just like before, you can super dash after it for free to extend the combo, so it's very good for that. You can still get your slide knockdown, so it's great for setups. If you don't mind spinning the extra bar to make your opponent a bit more scared, then I say go for it. The opponent should never feel safe blocking against Videl, and the heavy version is just one more great tool to make that happen. And then one last thing I want to talk about is how good this attack is for ending air combos. So in the air, you actually want to do quarter circle forward medium into light, and that will give you a slide knockdown in nearly every situation, unless you've used this super, or in some cases a wall bounce, you will not get the slide knockdown. For those situations, you have to do the air special in the corner into her light command grab like we said earlier, but for every other situation, you can do quarter circle forward medium into light, and you will get that slide knockdown every single time. So similar to Super Saiyan Goku and other characters of that nature, Videl can get a slide knockdown from pretty much anywhere, and it makes her very, very good at pressuring the opponent. And next up, let's talk about Videl's Dragon Punch. So quarter circle back and the key attack. This is a fully invincible wake-up attack that can knock the opponent off you. Now keep in mind, after the recent patch, you can no longer use an assist on block to keep yourself safe with this, so just be careful when doing it. Videl does have a dodge, so that can be better in some situations, but if you really do want to punish the opponent, you can Dragon Punch, vanish, and then get your combo going. It's very good for that. So if the opponent's being overly aggressive and just won't let up, don't forget about her rising knee attack. It's a great way to get the opponent off of you. And next up we have the down-down attack, which is a very weird input, but it is a cross-up. So the light version, medium version, and heavy version all serve their purpose. So the light version, as you saw, didn't knock the opponent down, but you could call in an assist to keep that combo going, right? It could be very good for that, or it could even just be good for a cross-up on block. You're hitting the opponent, Go for that cross up, use the assist right as you cross up to make it even sneakier. So it's a good option if the opponent isn't good at dealing with cross ups. And then next up you have the medium version, which does knock the opponent down, though it's a bit slower, a bit easier to see coming, but has a better pattern as well. The light version is very shallow, the medium version has a bit bigger of an arc, so it's better for crossing up the opponent if they're further away. If you want to extend for a full combo, you can always vanish, so it's very good for that. And last but not least, we have the heavy version. A pretty good arc as well, hits further than the light version, although keep in mind none of these attacks will hit from the front, so if you miss space it, you just whiff entirely, so make sure to learn the different distances. But what makes the heavy version very fascinating, as you saw there, is the opponent is left nice and close, so you can actually combo after this just fine, no problem. So if you don't want to deal with the hassle of a vanish combo, you can use the heavy version for a much easier combo that keeps the opponent a bit closer. And then last but not least, let's talk about the supers. Now Videl has a lot of supers. So first up we have quarter circle forward, light, and medium. Like you saw earlier, this super can actually be used to extend combos with a super dash. Now it only works if the combo hasn't gone on for too long. If you've done too many hits before doing this, you won't actually have time to super dash afterwards. However, when used properly, it actually allows you to do two supers in the same combo without the help of assist shenanigans or anything like that, making Videl one of the few characters who can loop her supers on her own without any help from an assist. And Videl actually has a second level 1 super as well, quarter circle forward heavy plus special, and this is actually a counter attack. So if the opponent tries to hit you, then Great Saiyaman will dance on him, making him feel completely silly, and to make things even worse for the opponent, all of his attacks now do more damage for the remainder of the match. In fact, this buff even applies to your level 3 super since it involves the Great Saiyaman as well. So next up, let's talk about the level 3s. Videl has 2 of those as well. So the first one is actually a wake up super similar to Frieza. So if I have Gohan hit me here, I can just hold down heavy and special and I will wake up with my Great Saiyaman Super. And as you can see, it costs 3 bars and covers the entire length of the screen. So it's very, very good for checking the opponent. Just keep in mind, similar to the counter, it doesn't activate right away, but it's still fairly fast. And then last but not least, we have the standard level 3. This attack has some pretty dang good range on it, and is very similar to Android 18's Super in both appearance and about the amount of damage it does, fairly good amount of damage, but keep in mind if you land the counter super from earlier, this level 3 does do more damage. So it's honestly a fairly good level 3, it's got good range, decent damage, and can get even more damage overall. Alright everyone, that's about it for the Videl guide. Thanks so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, then please leave a like down below, it really does help my channel out a ton. And then while you're down there, why not keep that combo going by subscribing and ringing that bell. That way you never miss a future video. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay UnderDawgz.
Gotcha! was I, Gohan? I'm not just some girl from your class anymore, huh?
Videl! Win!